So we'll start with the UK. We'll start with the UK one. Again, this is someone that's in the UK. And I'm kind of curious how this supposedly backfired. Like, I am all for the party eating shit on their ID thing. I'm all for it, so let's see how it's backfired on them. Let's see if this is. I just hope this is not clickbait.
So the Online Safety Act has backfired on Keir Starmer in a big way. And in the process, it's proved that all of the ways that they've tried to introduce these online verification checks just simply do not work. So what's happened? Well, someone's created a website, and there's actually quite a few of these websites, but someone's created a website where it uses AI to generate a photo ID of various MPs. Now, I do need to say, I'm not...
Wait. Let me see that. UseTheirID.com generated a fake ID seemingly of Keir Starmer using just a passcode in his constituency. Wow.
Now, I do need to say, I'm not going to link it down below. I can't share it because technically sharing it is illegal, as is pretty much everything else in the UK. But let me just walk you through the process of what happens. You go to a website that requires age verification. It redirects you to a site, for example, like Yoti or Verif. And on those websites, you have to submit a photo ID. People are then deciding to go across to this unnamed website. They're typing in a post.
Now we see what your local MP's driving license might look like. Please enter your UK postcode.
Finding their local MP, and it's AI generating photo ID, which people are then submitting to use to these websites. Oh no.
Did I not say that the younger generation would find a way around this in no time fucking flat? I said this about the IDs, that the youthful generations are, the minute they even talked about this, people are already working on workarounds. We've gone from using Death Stranding to bypass this to an AI jitter. Oh my God.
This is awful. The funny thing about all of this is in about 6 months to a year, the government are going to be doing a check where they basically go through all of this data and they're going to...
Wait, Mr. Cowell spoke out. Guido Fawkes reporting prominent backbench MP Sarah Champion launched the campaign against VPNs previously, saying my new Clause 54 would require the Secretary of State to publish within 6 months of the bill's passage a report on the effect of VPN use on Ofcom's ability to enforce the requirements under Clause 112. Step one. Step one to banning VPNs in the UK. This is step one. After this happens, if this passes through, step two, ban all VPNs.
Work with companies like
I did notice the name Guido Fawkes. I noticed
to
it.
figure out the effectiveness of VPNs. And the truth is it's actually going to massively skew the data because when they go through...
Yeah, well, VDog, that website in question was not for just average people. It was for the MP. So basically, you would do a lookup of a postal an address or a postal code, and this website would basically find what MP operates, covers that postal code, and then it would AI generate the ID card of that MP. It would not generate the ID for the average citizen. It's going on a limited database of what MP is in charge of governance of these areas.
VPNs. And the truth is it's actually going to massively skew the data because when they go through who's...
I'm sorry, I'm pausing you a lot. Yes, Balmain, you're right, because if I'm not mistaken, the party actually, while they're wanting to ban VPNs, the party actually was looking for VPNs for their government servers and their government computers. So while they're out there saying, don't use a VPN to bypass the ID, the party is out there shopping for VPNs for their own computers.
VPNs. And the truth is it's actually going to massively skew the data, because when they go through who's been using what websites, which, by the way, just want to point out, the fact that they're collecting all of that data, yet they're saying it's not being used as surveillance, is a complete contradiction. But they're going to go through all of this data and conduct a study, and they're going to see, that Keir Starmer has a chronic gooning problem. This is something that's worth talking about, though. The UK government are never going to get around this. They're never going to stop people doing stuff like this, because firstly, they're messing with people that have grown up with the internet. They've annoyed half of the country, like in a serious way, by introducing the Online Safety Act, and people are going to find whatever ways they want to get around it. Whether it's a VPN, 4 months free, 86% off, use private internet access as linked down below. Whether it's a VPN or whether it's another form of getting around these verification checks, such as what this guy's done, create a website that allows people to spoof IDs, there's always going to be a way around it. Now, I have seen this used as a common argument against my argument. My argument is that the government shouldn't be doing this sort of surveillance anyway, and it's totally against what we stand for as British people, but to be honest, what most Western countries stand for. It's against all of those ideologies. But a lot of people are saying that, well, if you can get around it with things like VPNs, why do you care so much? And it's the principle. It's the fact that...
Well, it's beyond the principle. Because the next step for the party is to lock down the VPNs. And to basically not allow VPN... The party will go to the ISPs and say, if you're detecting a VPN in use by your customers, lock them down. Don't allow them any internet access until they remove the VPN. Because the ISPs can do that. The ISPs can basically set up the service so that if it detects you're using a VPN, the ISP will say, nope, you don't get online until the VPN is turned off. They will do that. So that is the next step.
If, for example, a new government gets in power that's somehow less than the one we've got, not likely, still possible, if that ever does happen, we are absolutely screwed. Then a new tyrannical government that comes into power in the UK has the ability to track, monitor, and do pretty much whatever they want with our private and personal information, and this is why everyone has a problem with it. By the way, you may notice, this is a total side note, you may notice that I've been very selective in the words that I've used in this video. My last few videos are all getting demonetized. I'm not going to say that YouTube's watching my videos and demonetizing them. I think some of the topics I'm talking about and some of the keywords I'm using are starting to make my videos ineligible for monetization.
And I feel you. That's the YouTube AI running rampant. It would not surprise me if YouTube is already working with the UK government, and the UK government has said, hey, program your AI for any videos coming out of the UK to trigger on these specific words and demonetize them. I would not be surprised whatsoever if they've already started taking that step to try and silence UK content creators on YouTube.
I have opened up memberships on the channel. I don't expect anyone to join a membership tier at all. I honestly don't expect it. Just you watching my videos, commenting, engaging in the conversation, liking, subscribing, whatever, that's all important to me, because no matter what they do, they won't completely strike off my revenue from the channel. They're just demonetizing a few videos and limiting ads. And to be honest, the cause matters a little bit more than my revenue, but it would also be nice to get paid for me. So since
something
recording
like that,
this video, a few of my videos that were demonetized have now been remonetized. I appealed all of the demonetization that YouTube flagged for all of those videos. After they all went through a manual review, they all passed, because obviously YouTube had no reason to demonetize them.
Did he get a manual review? I couldn't get a manual review for my warning strike until I added Team YouTube on fucking Twitter. And even then, I don't know if they're going to remove my warning. How did this guy get a manual review? Lucky son of a bitch. This man, I'm in Canada. That's where I am. I'm in Canada.
They're all very safe for the platform. It's live for about 30 minutes. It gets demonetized. And then when it gets to like 50, 60,000 views, which is usually where the views stop, they get to that level and they stop. Then all of a sudden they turn on monetization again.
Oh.
It is really weird. And if any of the creators watch this and you have some clarification, please let me know down in the comments. So just so people know, I'm going to...
Simple answer. Simple answer. They see the videos climbing. They'll demonetize it right at the beginning of the climb. When it's hit its peak, and you're probably not going to get, when your video is probably hit about its peak, then they'll remonetize it because they're only going to monetize views from this point forward, and they don't have to pay you. So all of this ad revenue that he was going to get, which would have been substantial because he got 64,000 views. So all of that eats of the revenue he doesn't get. He'll only get revenue from this point forward, and at this point is probably where it's going to start tapering off. So they're basically, yeah. No, Revin, I don't think this would have been a few thousand. 64,000 views would have been a couple hundred. I think this might have been maybe 100 or 200, I would say. At a guess, this is a guess. I'm not entirely sure how YouTube's monetization works, but, you know, they basically took the lion's share of his revenue away by demonetizing it right at its climb and then monetizing it when it's hit its peak and now it's leveling off and he's not going to get all that many increased viewership after this because he's only going to receive monetization from here forward.
Watch this and you have some clarification, please let me know down in the comments. So just so people know, I'm going to be selective in my choice of words, but I'm not going to change the nature of my content or what I'm talking about. I'm going to tackle the topics I care about because I care about them. And the second I stop talking about those topics, the government have won. And I'm not okay with that. So for me, I'm just going to find ways now to discuss these topics and not get myself in trouble on the platform, but still allow me to convey these ideas and have open and honest discussions with you guys. But I do need to say, categorically, legal disclaimer, you should not be using AI to create government IDs of MPs and then going over to they're going over to websites and using it, because that is bad.
JDG, there is no way that he would have made almost $200,000 on 64K views. There is no chance. No chance he would make that ton of money. The people that make $200,000 are the ones that get literally millions of views. And Resin, I'm even thinking that $1,500 might be quite a stretch. But again, I am guessing. Let me say this clearly. I am guessing. Revin, you could be absolutely correct. JDG, you're definitely incorrect, I'm afraid. No, it's JDG, it's fine. I appreciate that you're just taking a guess. The reality is, like, YouTube's monetization is nowhere even close to being that good. Revin, I do think you're rather high. I think at the most it might be well, even with pounds, Revin, I still think you're probably twice as high as what it might possibly be for 64K views. If someone wants to do some quick research as to how the monetization works, like what the average monetization is, feel free. My guess is 500 pounds, maybe 700 pounds would probably be what he would get for 64K views. I still think that might be a bit high. $2 to $25 per 1,000 views. There we go. So we'll go on the high side, and for some quick math, we'll go on the high side for that, and 64,000. So wait. So on the high side, if he had 64,000 views, if he got paid the full $25 per 1,000 views, if he got the very high end of it, that actually would get him 1,600. More than likely, he's probably getting, I'll say $10 per view, which would net him $640. That is more likely. 640 is probably more likely what he would get for 64,000 views.
Oh dear. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out private internet access at the link below. Love you, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, that was interesting, and it shows that people are already trying to bypass this, and they will succeed. It's just like with YouTube trying to lock down like ads, where they're trying to stop with the ad blockers. It's good. Like, every time a new thing comes into play, there will be very computer savvy individuals who make it their life's work to fuck with the government that will come up with new ways to bypass this.